What are the current most popular manga? While many come to mind, the one I want to focus on today is Komi-san Can't Communicate. So what is it about this series that makes it so special? Well, first, the premise. Being about a girl who is socially challenged, so much so that she can't even talk, visualized by the lack of mouth on her design. While there are other series with a similar setup, what makes Komi-san different is that she's popular. Loved by everyone and always at the center of attention, making the world even harder for her because she wants to communicate with them but just has a tougher time than others. The world being a constant yet safe way to challenge her with new people and activities. It being filled with several different and exaggerated characters that keep the comedy and the story ever changing. The only two constants being Tadano and Najimi, her best friends. Najimi being the polar opposite of her, social and outgoing, pushing her into new situations that allow her to gain experiences. While Tadano is the everyman, doesn't excel in anything but allows him to interact and understand anyone that comes his way, because he's been where they have, and that includes Komi, being the only one who can read her, creating this dynamic of growth and support. It all allowing her to slowly develop and discover new things, even about herself. Many comedies use the 4-koma style, which limits how much is on a page to just 4 panels. Komi herself even limits the manga. Having a main character who doesn't speak in a format of still images and words is going to force you to get creative, so a lot of her feelings have to be conveyed through action, and this is achieved with how it uses the layout. Oda Tomohito uses the simplicity to his benefit, dedicating majority or even entire pages to character action, imbuing so much more personality into the storytelling and comedy. He puts you right there with her, like her lack of social skills here, but also the awkwardness of getting close to someone here. So much can be said without a single word bubble, and while the point of the panels still work without them, a lot of the humanity is lost. Also using these small, intimate moments to break away from the 4-koma style to convey the grand emotion taking place. The more intense the feelings, the more it breaks away from the standard presentation, really making small activities a lot more meaningful. The manga having a simplified, expressive look for comedy while also being beautifully detailed. The world being sillier than how she's drawn, adding another layer to the storytelling. Komi is just as human as everyone else, and it's emphasized by how similar she acts to them even if they don't see it, while also cleverly showing her disconnect with her surroundings, the world typically seeing their idea of her rather than her true, much more goofy self. Only when someone really gets to know her, it takes on a completely different meaning. The more intimate and real the moment, the more detailed it becomes, making them more profound, even making simple panels carry a lot more weight. Hopping back and forth between styles show both sides of her characters are one and the same. Komi-san is about an introverted girl who wants to connect with the world around her, and it isn't easy for her, so the presentation is used to show both the ups and downs of her journey in a more private way, like her joy in this page, or her loneliness and worry in this one. Komi feels genuine, and it's because of how much you see of the characters rather than how much you read. It's these little traits that sell her and make her feel real, and by doing this for Komi, it extends to all the other characters. While most of them seem like a quick joke, none of them are throwaways, and it's because a lot of them are just people with a silly way of coping with reality. Behind the weird exteriors are vulnerable humans that just want to connect but don't know how. It feels sincere because it is, showing all the little quirks and imperfections you only see when you know someone, adding more of their charm to the manga. It's why they all have a strong presence whenever any of them appear. It makes mundane activities memorable, not just because Komi is growing, but also because the people around her are connecting as well. The world fell in love with Komi and her manga because of how it sheds light on something real in a light-hearted yet meaningful way. It never feels like it's making fun of you. It makes you feel like you're a part of the story because you are. Every single character or moment is just an exaggerated reflection of a time in the reader's life, easily being something from our past or something in our current lives, making the manga incredibly flexible in its appeal, but also giving a different perspective to certain types of people we never thought about before. There are constant talks if it will ever get an anime, But I don't think that matters at this point. It's this popular because of its themes and messages rather than an anime, and that says a lot. To experience Komi-san, these characters, and their journey, you gotta go find it, making it more personal than other series that are constantly being promoted. Funny enough, it being limited to manga has made fans create more compared to other more popular series. The lack of anime has spawned pieces of fan animation and art in honor of the manga, every single one with just as much love as Tomito has for his characters. All of them, and the more to come in the future, making the series have even more value. I think it speaks more to how much people have connected with these characters than an anime adaptation ever will. If it does or doesn't get one, I at least know that these characters will continue to live on past the pages of the manga by how many readers it has connected to. And if I've sparked your interest, give it a read, because Komi is always interested in making a new friend.